The bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe. And I would have screamed that right now, but my mom is asleep in the other room. I actually feel like I'm talking too loud right now. But look at these. They're the size of my face. I love it. If anybody's wondering, I feel like nobody else is going to like them the way I like them. But if anybody's wondering where I got them from Icing in the mall. My voice sounds so weird. I got those spider eyelashes going on right now. I just didn't have enough time to put on falsies or anything because my mom's getting up in like an hour. So I do have to make this video as quick as possible. So let's just go ahead and get started. With every story time that I've done so far, I've always given you background knowledge. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I don't want to jump right into it because then it's not going to make sense. So, wait. Before I even get started, I don't condone drugs. I'm telling you this for educational purposes. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Just don't do it. It's not fun. It's not worth it. Doing Molly can seriously harm you long term. So just don't do it. Save yourself the time. Save yourself the energy. Just don't. Just don't. So before this time, I feel like I've done Molly like maybe 4 different times before this. And ever since this, I've never done Molly again. This shit scared me so bad. I was just like, nah, never again. So I keep doing that. I know that's gonna get annoying for some of you guys, but okay. So every time I did Molly, I got it from the same person each time. And every time I got it, it was in a little capsule that was about this big, and you could see the Molly inside of it. It was like somebody manually put the Molly inside of it. Let me see if I can find a picture. It looked like this, like you could see the white on the inside, and it was just like a normal capsule, and I'm not in focus. At this point, I'm never in focus. Like, it is what it is. We just gonna keep going. We gonna roll with it. So usually I would take 2 of those tops at a time, and honestly the effects never really hit me that hard. The music would sound great. I would be wide awake. I would be a little bit hyper, and I would be a lot happier. Couldn't eat. I just wanted to move around a lot, and that was about it. But usually I could go to sleep within like 8 hours. Okay, that's something you need to remember. I could go to sleep eventually. There's my little background on it. Every time I did it, I did enjoy it. That's why I was doing it so much. Now, another thing I feel like I should throw in there, I did a lot in a short amount of time. Like I said in my video where I was talking about getting over a relationship, I had said that I used to party literally every single night. And literally every single night for a minute there, I was putting some type of drug in my system, which is not good. It wears you out mentally and physically. Just please don't do that. So my mistake that I made is I did too much Molly in a short amount of time. That shit can fry your brain, dude. Like, don't do that. Hoes don't do it. This time it was different. I went over to my friend's house, and instead of it being in the capsule, it was in the powder form. Molly comes in several different types. It comes in liquid, capsules, powder, and then like those other little pills that has the like shapes and like things on it. I think that's actually ecstasy. So this was in powder form, and in powder form you have the choice to make Molly water, or you can parachute it. And parachuting it, I thought I heard my mom. I was like, and parachuting it is where you take it and you put it in some paper or toilet paper. You wrap it up here. Let me show you. You take it, you put it on the inside of it, like in the middle, and you take it and you make it as small as you can, tiny as possible. This is as small as I can make it with my nails. That's kind of big, but you can definitely make it smaller than that. It honestly depends how much powder you put in there, and you swallow it with water. I took it with toilet paper, So you know when you wet toilet paper, it kind of expands. So I like about choked and died on it, but it did go down. Honestly, before the effects started to happen, maybe 30 minutes to an hour in. But this time, after I took it, we were all chilling in the room. There was like 4 or 5 of us in the room, and we were just chilling and listening to music. I was laying on the bed, and you know how Molly like wakes you up? For whatever reason, this shit was making me like knock out. Like I was literally nodding on and off, and I was like, this shit ain't right. And I just had like a really bad sinking feeling in my gut, and I was just like, I need to get out of here because this is not right. I faked calling my mom, and I was just like faking it so somebody could take me home. I didn't really want to call my mom because I didn't want her to like, you know, beat my ass. I told my friend like, hey, I need to go home. My mom called me. She's mad that I'm not home. So they were like, okay, bet. So we got in the car. Here I am sounding ugly again. We got in the car, and literally like 3 houses down, there were like 4 cop cars like outside this house doing like a bust or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was a lot of police cars. And we were watching it, and at this point it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. So obviously they saw like 5 of us come out of the house and pile into the car. So when we drove off, one of the cops followed us. Just thinking about it gets my heart racing because I was convinced that I was gonna get caught and I was gonna pass out when they locked my ass up. Like I was just like thinking the absolute worst. The driver realized that the cops were following us. He like pulled off the road and like parked at a random house, hoping that the cop would like keep going and leave us alone, because literally every single turn we were taking, the cop was taking too. That shit scared me so bad. But anyways, so we sat there for like 5 minutes. We reversed and we started going back, and the cop pulled out of like the side of the street and started to follow us again. Now the driver of the car was on this Molly as well. So he was driving, and you could tell that he wasn't sober. So everybody was just like, stop like going for the drinks, stop being on your phone, sit up and drive correctly, because all of us were under the influence. In the car, we had Molly Coke and we had Molly water, and we were passing that around as well. I took only like 2 or 3 sips because I just did not feel right. Something in me was like, you are literally about to pass out and you're never gonna wake up again. Like, you're about to go in a coma, bitch. Like, this is it. You are dying tonight. Like, that's just how I felt. And I was just like nodding off as like we were driving, but I was so scared that I kept like waking back up. I am yelling. I can hear myself. The driver turned onto my apartment. The cop kept going. So literally from the house to my apartment, they were following us. So the whole time I was like having anxiety. This is where I was positive what I took was not Molly, because I know where I live. I've lived here for years. I came here when I was a child. I know where my entrance is. I always have to direct people to my entrance because nobody knows exactly which entrance it is, so I have to direct people. So the driver was just like, is it right here? And I got confused. I said yeah, but then I was like, wait, no. So my friend that was next to me that always comes and picks me up was like, yes, it is. And it hit me, and I was like, oh shit, it is. And my vision was like blacking on the corners, so it was very like, you know those horse things they put on the horses? That's like how I felt. Like I could only see like straight forward. So I got out of the car and I started going up the stairs to get to my apartment. And my apartment, it has different breezeways, which means it has different hallways. I don't know if you know what a breezeway is, but it's basically different hallways, and it has a flight of stairs that you can go up, or you can just stay on the bottom floor. So I was going up to the top floor, and halfway up the stairs, I completely forgot where I was. I got confused. I was like, wait, are these my apartments? And I went back down the stairs, and I looked like at the mailboxes on the wall, and I was like, I am at the right apartment. So I went back upstairs, and at this point I felt myself stumbling. into the door, and I like slammed through the door. My mom was asleep in the living room, and my dad was actually in there too. And I went in there and I was just like, Mom, something is not right. I like just something isn't right. That's literally all I can say. And I stumbled my way into my room. And my mom was used to me coming home really messed up at this point. So she came into my room with a throw up bucket and was just like, what did you take? How much have you drank? That's the basic question she would always ask. And I was just like, I took what I think is Molly, but the more that I'm feeling these effects, I don't think it is. The only thing that was resembling Molly is that my pupils were really dilated. And at this point, I was feeling so drunk. And I didn't drink anything that night at all. So there was no reason for me to feel this drunk. It popped in my head. I was like, did I just take a date rape drug? Because a date rape drug also comes in pill, liquid, and powder. So I had my mom like Google everything, and at this point my ass was just like laid out on the bed. I was just laying down. I had the cover over me, and I was just thinking like, this is it. Like, I'm literally about to die because I took a lot. My ass is like, oh, I'm a pro at Molly. I can handle a lot. My tolerance is all high. So I took a lot of that powder. My mom was asking me what my symptoms were, and at this point I'm kind of blacking out a little bit. Like, I remember some things. I remember that I was hot and I was hallucinating a little bit. Like, every little detail, like, okay, my cat was on my chest and I was literally zooming in to every little detail of her hairs. Like, I would look at one hair and it's like my eyes would zoom into it and that's all I could see is just that one hair. Or I'd look at the ceiling, and I have that ceiling where it's like little drops, you know, like it's a textured ceiling. And I was looking at it and it just had waves going through it. It was like acid, but on a very low level. I just kept looking around the room. At this point I sat up because I started to feel a pain in my legs, almost like they were asleep. And I couldn't like shake it off. So I sat up and I just kept looking around the room. I was getting paranoid and I was still very, very sleepy. So I actually think I took a picture of my pupils. Let me see if I can find it. So I don't remember which night is which. I have two separate pictures of my pupil. So I guess I'm just going to show them both. In both pictures, my pupil was almost like the size of the color of my eyes. So I know one of these pictures is from that night. I just literally don't remember which is which. And I don't know if you can even see it on camera. That's like a really low quality picture. This one is a little bit better quality. Focus. This one's a little bit better quality. I still don't know if you can see it, but it is pretty big. At this point, my dad woke up and he came in the room and he saw my pupils basically right away, and he was so mad. He was like, what the fuck are you on? Why are you so stupid? Like, you're gonna go out and do this shit? Don't do this shit. And he basically went off on me and like stormed off to his room, and I was just like, well, that's not what I needed right now. Like, thanks a lot, you know? And my mom was just so worried, and she was certain that I took the date rape drug, but not everything. Well, actually a lot of things did add up. The whole feeling extremely drunk, the hallucinations, the sleepiness, that's all I really remember. I know I had other symptoms, but like I said, I really was blacking out. Okay, let's fast forward a few hours. I was still laid out, just like not knocked out, but my ass was just laid out. I was chilling in the bed. I was looking straight up. I was watching the ceiling. I had my music on because my music actually did sound really good. I didn't have my TV on. I only had one light on in my room. I was just chilling. My mom was right there because I was scared for her to leave me, but we weren't talking or anything. And then literally out of nowhere, I was just like, I can't take this I can't take this leg pain anymore. I need to get up and I need to walk around, because it felt like my legs were asleep, but at the same time it felt like I was getting stabbed with like 1,000 needles and like sharp pains in my bones. And I was like, we need to walk the dog. I need to go outside and walk around. And as I was walking around, I was like doing almost like a little skipping motion to like try to make my legs feel better. And once I got outside, I was like, Mom, just talk to me. Just talk to me, make me feel better, let's have a conversation. I don't care what we talk about. Talk to me about God. Talk to me about whatever. I just can't be quiet right now. Just please speak to me. I'm terrified. And all throughout the night, I told her that I'm scared. And it's daytime at this point, and I was just like, I don't know if I should go to the hospital or not. And she was like, you probably should, because they can see what drug is in your system, and they can detect they're date raped, or they can detect if it's something else. I'm over here stuttering. I need to go to bed. It's 3:30 in the morning. I could not go to sleep. I was so drowsy, but I could not fall asleep. And if I could, I would wake up like 10 minutes into my sleep, and I would almost wake up scared. The hallucinations stopped like 4 hours into the night, and the leg pain never did. So let's fast forward. It's like 8 hours later. I honestly don't remember if my mom went into work or not. I think she did, or I think she was just like, call me if anything happens. And she told my dad to like watch over me, which he didn't. So I was just like stuck in the room the whole day with like pain in my legs and just feeling so miserable, and still being like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Like, this overwhelming feeling of that I'm not gonna survive this. And I was like really paranoid, and I was just so scared. She came home. At this point, it's been over 12 hours. Still no legit sleep. Leg pain is still intense. But all the other... Oh, I couldn't even eat. Like, I completely forgot about that. I was drinking a lot of water, but I could not eat at all. Like, my mom kept offering me like things, and like bread, soup, chicken, like little things, but then again like big things, because she knows that it's really unhealthy for me to go long periods of time without eating. I was drinking water, and that's about it. Water and juice. I was just trying to like detox my body basically. And at one point the leg pain got so bad that I was just like, I'm not even gonna get up. Like, walking is not helping, so I'm not gonna walk to the bathroom. I'm just gonna stay here and hold my pee forever. Like, I was convinced that leg pain was never gonna go away. And honestly, after that, everything really goes blank, except I just remember waking up every few minutes and looking at my phone. And I didn't really go back to normal until 24 hours later. And I was so mad at those friends. I was like, these hoes ain't even real friends. They like drug my ass. Like, that's not Molly. I don't care what you think. That is not Molly. Molly has never done that before. And part of me like wonders if that's like what happens when you do too much in a small amount of time, like time span. But like, I don't think so. I haven't talked to those friends since. I don't trust them anymore, and it honestly has opened my eyes to don't take drugs. One, don't take drugs, but two, definitely don't take drugs from basically strangers that you think are your friends, because they gonna hook you up. They really will. So that's my story. It was a crazy ride. Since then, I haven't even touched Molly. Learned from my mistake. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.